we are here in the wonderful Toronto, and I'm interviewing the expert on social connectedness and belonging, Kim Samuel.
Fionn, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to meet with you and be interviewed and to welcome you to my city. This is where I come from.
Very nice. Yeah, so in your opinion, where does creativity come from?
Creativity comes from inside all of us. It comes from nature. It comes from the things that we do every day, how we are with one another, the sensitivity, the empathy, our sense of purpose. And I think that creativity, while extremely important in the world for the arts, for music, for dance, for so many other mediums, is joyful and beautiful. But it all starts with inside us, and every one of us has creativity. And I think the beginning of it is to recognize that.
Yes, that's beautiful. I can relate to that because I'm a visual artist myself, actually.
Well, tell me, what do you do? I didn't know that.
Right. So because I'm a visual artist as well, I do paintings and I draw over them with magic markers and this kind of thing.
Well, where does creativity come from in you?
Oh, I would say through my violin when I play it on the streets of Galway, and I make people happy doing so.
Yeah.
Yes, and what does community mean to you, Kim?
Community to me means where I belong. It can be the community where I come from, where I live, but more often than that, it's the places that I get to go. And I never look at myself as an outsider, even if I'm seen that way. I think we all have to deal with that a bit.
Yeah.
I think about getting to meet new people, be in new communities. I have a family that I love very much, but I also make new families wherever I go.
Yeah.
Community is I'm part of something. I can show up as myself, be seen and respected as myself, and where everyone else can do the very same. And there's nothing better than either welcoming people to your community or being welcomed to someone else's and feel that you're wanted and appreciated.
Yes, and Kim Samuel, what do you love about your life?
Well, I love being, the state of being, to wake up every day and know that I'm here, that I'm being given the opportunity to be alive and to live my life to the fullest, to be able to have a family that I love very much and who love me, which isn't to say that there aren't those days.
Of course.
But even then, it's knowing that you're part of something. I love my grandchildren. I have a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old. The 4-year-old is a girl. She's called Charlotte. The 1-year-old is a boy. He's called Jackson. So I can begin with, on the family side, I love them all, but oh my goodness, those grandchildren. They give me such a sense of purpose. I also love the work I do. I'm really lucky because I found my path, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
We always have to get up and do something every day.
Yes.
My late father said it, no matter who you are, no matter where you come from,
Yeah.
everyone has to get up every day and do something in the workaday world. But it wasn't until I started working on belonging, and as you know, that's my passion,
Yes.
that I realized that I'm in the perfect place. I'm on my path.
Yes.
And that I'm supposed to be doing this work until the day I die. And you ask about what do I love about my life. This is my labor of love. So I'm really grateful. Yeah.
Yes, we actually already have your book called On Belonging, and we've been reading it. And
Thank you.
I love how you tell each story, how it sounds, and there's one post in the book that has this really lovely relationships with the salmon and the grizzly bear and the trees.
Yes. Oh my goodness, that's the Great Bear Rainforest.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, well, can I tell you a bit about
Yes.
what that means to me? Well, the Great Bear Rainforest is in the country you're in now, in Canada, as you know.
Yes.
And it is the largest temperate rainforest in the world. It's protected land, which is extremely important. There are trees there that are ancient trees. There are bears there. I didn't get to see the one that's the white bear that's called the spirit bear.
Yeah.
But when I went there, and it would have been around 2004, 2005, in there.
Yeah.
I can't remember the exact year right now. And I went with my sister, Tammy, and her 2 kids and her husband, and my daughter, Caitlin.
Yeah.
And we went for, over a week. And I got to learn on that trip what the difference was between a walk in the woods
Yeah.
and a walk in the wilderness. And in a walk in the wilderness, you would come to the shore and step in, and your legs would just sink into the mud, the estuaries. And I thought, oh, okay, this is the real wilderness.
Yeah.
And we got to see all kinds of animals and hear them sometimes. We'd hear wolves a lot at night.
Wow.
We got to see beautiful eagles and other birds. We got to see where bears had scratched, I guess, kind of like we file our nails. I file my nails, but kind of sharpening their claws on a tree. And I thought, when the guide said, "Oh, this is very recent," I thought, "Oh well, I'm okay that I missed that first part." But there was a moment there, and I put it in my book, when I was sitting under an ancient Sitka spruce tree.
Yes.
And I was at the end of a morning of walking in the wilderness, which was a lot of work getting through.
Right.
And I was sitting under this ancient tree, and I was with my sister. She's no longer with us.
Right.
This was in the last few years of her life, so it was even more poignant.
Yeah.
And I sat there thinking, oh, I'm invisible. What a relief. And I want to tell you what I meant by that.
Yes.
And it's also something I love about my life, is that I get to be in nature as often as possible. And I want that for everybody. And I was sitting there thinking, I'm just really insignificant, part of everything, a little speck as part of everything. And I didn't focus on being the little speck. I'm not very tall, as you can see. So little was the operative word. But I was really thinking it's way more important to feel connected and to be part of things. And I'll never forget that moment. And the other thing I wanted to tell you, if I can tell you just one more thing, is that in the rainforest, there were so many trees where the roots were growing on top of the ground. So you could see that. And I could see after a while that there were different trees whose roots were growing together, connected together. and they were very, very strong. They're called lateral roots. And I'd never seen that before. And it gave me the idea that when there are differences, if we can come together with our differences and love each other, listen to each other, even when we disagree, and learn something new, then we're way stronger, like the trees. And we have a lot more resilience and a lot more to grow and to give.
Yes, well, yes. Like you, I love nature and the natural world and being in the great outdoors. And I love bird watching. That's a big one for me.
Me too. It's a big one for me too.
Wow.
Yeah. The birds that I watch, that I love the most, I look at all, I love them all.
Yeah.
I call them friends who fly, friends with wings.
Nice. Yeah.
You know what? I went to Costa Rica, and where a lot of people go to the rainforest, and I never made it to the rainforest because where I was staying was in the dry forest, and I made friends with a black vulture.
Wow.
In the wild, of course.
Yes.
And on the second day there, it's where I finished my book, actually. I finished my book in Costa Rica.
Wow.
And it was the second day there, and I looked up, I was staying in a little cottage, and I looked out on the railing outside, and this is what I wrote to my daughter. I wrote, "Caitlin, look, I just saw a magnificent blackbird." And she writes back to me, LMAO, laughing my ass off, Mom, it's a vulture. Well, I didn't know that, but I wasn't going to leave it like that. I said, oh yes, of course I know that.
Right.
Anyway, this black vulture and I became friends, and I think he wanted to be called Merlin, so this is what I called him. And he came every day, and he would sit with me for hours.
Wow.
And one day, he got attacked by a hawk, and I'm pretty sure I saw it happen, but I couldn't see so well down into the valley, but I thought, somebody's attacked. I hope that's not Merlin, because Merlin had a perch where he sat. He kept an eye on everything. He took care. And the next morning, I knew it was him, because he flew up to my cottage, and he sat there, just spent the morning there, because he had his wings, one of his wings, half the feathers were gone, and he was in trouble. And of course, if you're a bird and you can't fly, you're in trouble. And so then his wife came. I call his wife because they mate for life. And I could tell that that's who that was. And she looked at me for a while, thinking, "What's that creature doing with my Merlin, my man?" And then he went off, and I watched him for the next weeks as his wings, on the one wing, the feathers were growing back. And normally they fly so beautifully, and the wind would blow him, and he'd kind of catch himself to kind of steady the wings, and then he'd go on. And I just thought that was such a beautiful example of what we all have to do in our lives, but that sometimes if you're not able, for whatever reason, to steady yourself or get your balance back with your wings, then the idea of a flock is that you'll get help from the others. And one day, the Merlins brought along their kids. I heard this thud on the roof, and I went out, and these young vultures were running around, and Merlin and his mate were the way any parents would be. It's like, don't let them go on the road, and they were running all through the flowers, and it was just, I thought, he's brought the family home to meet me.
Wow.
But I do love all birds, and I care a lot about the birds and what's happening in the environment where so many birds are in trouble. They've done nothing wrong. It's what the humans have done.
Yes.
And I love also, I want to ask you, we call each other birders, right?
Right.
That there's also something really beautiful about sitting, because you have to sit quiet, right? Sitting quietly for a long time and see who comes by. Tell me about your bird watching.
Oh yes, sometimes I love sitting, and when it's a group of birdwatchers that go birdwatching.
Yeah.
We go with them, and actually, speaking of, my dad and I in Michigan, in Ann Arbor.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Michigan's not too far from here.
Right,
Just the
exactly.
Great Lakes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we went out with a local group of birdwatchers from there, and we went birdwatching with them, and we saw so many different kinds of birds there. It was so amazing.
Mm. Well, maybe one day we could go bird watching together.
I would love that.
Yeah, me too. Me
Yes.
too. Yeah.
This has been a wonderful and yet so insightful and beautiful conversation.
Well, those are my words right back to you. This has been really fun, and
Yeah.
I've learned a lot about you too. So thank you very much for the opportunity.
Of course.